And I'm still in the shop. It's like I never leave. At least that's how it seems to me. A little while back, I decided to make a light kukri blade out of 1080 high carbon, and this is relatively light. This is about an 1/8 thick, a little thicker at the shoulder, and this makes for a light, strong, and durable and dependable piece. You can see I got a little bit of rust on it. I'll have to clean that up. And I was going to do a wooden handle on this, and I thought, I want to wait a second. Sometimes it's worth waiting, at least with knives. Everything else I'm in a hurry about. But I thought about it, and just by chance, a guy comes into the shop. He has the entire back of his Jeep loaded down with antler, plus a passenger seat. So I traded him out, and I ended up with some really awesome, dense whitetail antler. Quite dense. And I thought, I was going to do a drill and burn through for the wood, but can I do that with antler? No, I think I can. So let's find out, and I'm sure this is going to be awesome or terrible. But I thought about this and it was like, okay, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to do a burn through? Now, realistically, I have a substantial tang here. And I'm thinking what I should do is I should round this out just a little bit. It's not going to be taking very much off at all. Sounds like a fire truck or ambulance outside. And I'm going to get that. Yep, fire rescue. We're just now like half a block from the fire department here. So what I'm going to do, Maximo, how's it going? So what I'm going to do, there's two routes I can go on this. One would be to heat this piece of metal and burn it into the antler, which doesn't seem like a bad idea until I went from air conditioning where I was sleeping today down here where it's relatively cool, and I walked outside into an inferno. It's cooler in my blacksmith shop than it is outside today, so a bit of an issue there. Thank you. I always like to make cute knives. So today I'm probably not going to be burning on this. What I'm looking at instead, I need to shape my handle a little bit, and I think I'm going to use the same belt to shape my tang, because this is going to be a substantial tang, and I think this will work just fine. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. Let me see if I can find you on Discord. Well, thank you for good luck. Russian Federation, I do have some friends from Russia. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this on. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take down some of these knobs. Smooth out some irregularity. I'm going to start making this to fit my hand. So there we go. There's my handle pretty much shaped. And now I've got to figure out, I'm going to grab my caliper. Calipers are good to have. I'm going to grab my caliper over here. And I want to figure out what the maximum is that I can have widthwise on my tang, which is a little over 1/2 inch. Guys, this is going to be plenty strong, trust me. So now I'm just going to come in here and check about where I need to start grinding this down. Take the corners off. And then I see how far it doesn't fit. Not very far. And then I check again. Get a little closer. The important thing is to roll those edges off. Otherwise they will lock in. Try it again. Looking a little better. And each time I'm getting a little bit closer. A little bit closer on that. So this is also where I'm going to come through and I'm going to see where, let's dial that down just a little bit. Okay. You don't want to thin your tang out too much, but this is working. That is pretty close. Now that's a little more than what I want to pour for the pewter here, I think. So I still want to come up a little bit on that. And that to me is just about right. Now, I've got my start. I've got everything to where it's going to work pretty decent at this point. But one thing I do want to do, I want to go ahead and trim this tang. I want to serrate it, and I also want to clean up my blade. Now my blade has a little bit of corrosion on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to switch over to one of these blue surface conditioners real quick. Move my caliper, grab my gloves, and just give a couple passes to clean this up real quick. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. Be sure to hit that notification button. Same thing over here. So I've cleaned up my kukri real quick, and now I want to check a couple things. One, is it level? It is level enough. And I have the tang protruding a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. I'm going to use my handle material as a gauge here and see how much I need to trim this down. I'll have it protrude just a little bit, but not much. Now, what I just did, I wouldn't recommend doing that because you do run the risk of tearing up the piece. Okay, so the purpose of those serrations, those points that I cut in, are for the pewter to grab onto. And if you're, let's say by chance you were just epoxying a handle on, having a tang like that that's either drilled through or notched can be very beneficial in holding everything together. Now I'm going to take my hammer. I'm going to tap this down just so that it's holding everything in alignment. It's where I want it to be. All right. So now, I'm going to get some HVAC tape. That is an aluminum tape that's used in HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning applications. And this works pretty good for doing poured pewter pommels and bolsters. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come in and I'm going to lay down some tape right there. And then I will come in from the back here, doing the same thing. And the idea is to create a seal so that the pewter does not run out. Now this pouring pewter is going to add quite a bit of weight to this, as well as make for a very, very secure means of construction. How's everybody doing? For profit, thank you. So here we go. And that should all be sealed up real nice. So I'm going to pour pommel first. And I do this quite often. Now I'm going to try to set that so it's reasonably level. And before I do this, I'm going to create another point of attachment. And what I'm doing, I'm just taking this this file and I run it down until I thought I broke the file. I just run it down into the pith until it hits the tang channel. And what that does is, one, it allows gas to escape as it's being poured in, but it's also going to send a couple little fingers down in there to hold. Now, if this was centered, I probably wouldn't do that. And I can get by without having this, but why not? I can do it, so I should. Or rather, I can. How's everybody doing? Timothy Wallace? Fatima Rockman? Okay. So here we go. I am going to come in here. I'm going to wrap this around. I'm going to make sure that my tape is nice and even around here. And that's a lot higher than what I need it to be for this process. Now, I don't know if I have enough gas to do this, but we're going to find out because I've been running this tank down for a little bit. Hoping I have enough. Now I do have some pewter here. I'm going to do a quart pewter butt cap on this, or pommel. And I'm liking the way everything's going so far. It's looking good. Now I will stain the handle after I'm done, but I've got a little bit of work to do before I get to that point. What I need to do, I need to get that pewter molten and get this poured, and then I'll have to melt some more pewter and do the bolster. Like I said, that's going to put quite a bit of weight in the hand, but this is going to be very strong. Can I make an Indian sword? Are you talking like a, what kind are you talking about? Are you talking like a tulwar or Varangi? What kind of Indian sword? Good possibility. Butch, how's it going? Love Texas. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. As that's coming up to temp, I'm going to get ready to pour my pommel, and that's going to fill the tang channel here. It's going to lock into the grooves that have been cut into the tang. Then once that's cooled, I'll turn it around, remove this tape, remove all the tape, pour a bolster cup here. This is a pommel cup. Make a bolster cup, pour it, and then I'll go through and might even do a reveal on a second video on finishing the entire thing out. So be sure to stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. My pewter has some slag on top, some scum. Let's get rid of that. And now I'm going to come in here and start drizzling down the tang channel and continue pouring. That's pretty good. Now it's bubbling like crazy, so it's displacing a fair amount of air. Pour a little more pewter. In the ladle, and while that is calming down, I'm going to heat this again, and it appears to me that that was trapped air in the tang channel versus air that was coming, gas that was being produced. Okay, it's definitely getting some slag on top of it, but I think that's good to go. Melting. Here we are still molten, so I'm going to hold off and wait as my pewter melts here. I'm just going to go ahead and remove it from the heat source. Let it sit. Let's take a look here. Now you can see some of the, wow, that's got a lot of reflection. There we go, blocked out with my hand. You can see how some flakes of stuff have floated to the top. And if I tap this, you see it vibrate. So that is still liquid. All right, so I've got to get this to cool. I want it to cool evenly and slowly, otherwise it's going to really put a pit in the middle. And I don't want to have to grind too much of this off. But I'm going to do one more pour to do the bolster here. And then we'll talk about what's going to happen next. Now, you want your pewter to cool. If it just cools and you go to work on it, it's likely to break apart. Much like the divinity candy my grandma would make, it still does make around the holidays. That's starting to cool now. It breaks apart and it's very, very coarse. So you want it to cool so that all of that becomes more solid and it's stronger. Because even though this has a low melting point, when it heats, it does become softer than when it's just cool, even though it is a soft metal naturally. But this is looking good to me. And I bet I get a pretty good, yeah, that's definitely cool at this point. So I can take the tape cautiously. And when it's shiny like that, you have to be cautious because that's the point that it can really break. It can come apart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my kukri over to the water bucket and I'm going to cool it off real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a water bucket over there. Okay. Now, I am going to get this ready to remove the tape and apply new tape. And I'm just going to use my vise for this part. Now when I do the pour, because my vise is unlevel, I'm going to be holding this in a gloved hand. Throw my aluminum away because I hate it laying around. Okay, so you can maybe see here, I have pewter here and I have pewter here. Now the new pewter will adhere to that and will work quite nicely. Hold this a little lower. You don't have to have the leather, although it's a good idea. But to have a pad between the vice jaw and what I'm working on. Now this I want to make sure that it comes up slightly above the lowest point necessary. There we go. I'm going to use this file just to round out my bolster cup. Keeping in mind that a good portion of this will be possibly ground away. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to light my torch so I've got something I can level my material with. Heat up my pewter. Get it molten again. Then I'm going to take my torch and I'm going to level out my my pewter. Turn that off. Now I didn't have as much material to worry about cooling as I did with the pommel, and there's some heat retained there, so I've got to be cautious about this. But I think everything probably worked out okay. Once more, if you have not subscribed yet, this is a great time, great opportunity to do so. And because I know this is quite hot. Just going to come in here with my file. This is not my file. This is Cheyenne's file. I just use it all the time. And there you have it. Right there. So guys, here is a stag handled kukri. I'm going to do a video on cleaning this up once it's cooled. Don't want to hurry the process too much on that. But once more, if you have not subscribed yet, great time to do so. And we'll see you in a few. Be sure to check out some of the other videos. Descriptions, or rather links in the comment or the description section. So we'll catch you later.